Hello, Matrix Live. Welcome to Matrix Live. It is the 13th of December 2019. I'm Ben. I'm here with Halfshot, also Will. And it's the bridge session. So we're going to talk a lot about bridges today. You've been doing bridges for years.
Yes, many years.
But it's been a bit of an exciting time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. State events we'll talk about.
Yep.
What else is coming up? Slack stuff's coming up.
Slack's been mental lately. So Slack, we've I feel like you've been focused on it more.
So we've had customer interest because it's Slack, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone kind of wants to get off Slack. They've joined it like a few years ago and they're like, actually, this is a bad idea. Let's get off Slack. But we're now cemented into it. So the Slack bridge has sort of been a migration platform of sorts in that we've written a Slack bridge to migrate users and channels straight off. So the latest feature of the Slack bridge is when you start the bridge up, you configure it with some stuff, and it will start syncing over all your channels in your Slack group, all your private channels in your Slack group, all your DMs. The whole thing gets synced across to Riot.
Okay.
Just like one button press or one config change, right? And then suddenly customers are like, great, this is good. I don't got to use Slack at all.
Okay, so the new features are that it syncs the DMs and all the rooms.
And all that, and obviously puppeting as well.
Okay.
So you can do true native Riot looks like Slack talks to Riot.
Okay.
All the stuff just works.
Yeah.
And it's fantastic.
Yeah.
It's basically the fun frontier in terms of as close as we can get to proper bridging.
Okay.
And
Yeah. No, for sure. So it should now be truly. I mean, I know we always say this, but it should be truly transparent. If you're on Slack, you shouldn't even have to think about how the messages are getting across.
Yeah. So this is I think effectively the 1.1, 1.2 release of the bridge. Mm-hmm. And this is already, we're pretty close to a perfect bridge. There are bugs, obviously, because this is still in beta stuff.
Yeah.
But we're getting so close now that this bridge is fine. You can just run it. Anyone out there can just run it for their organization. It's so good that we're going to start offering it a modular at some point in the future. To anyone who doesn't want to have to maintain all that stuff, it will be as simple as pressing a few buttons to have your whole organization have their own, Riot, their own home server, their own Slack bridge, all running through it. Okay. Which will be a fantastic time, I think, for anyone who wants to switch to Matrix.
So is that the main driver, the main motivator? This modular?
So modular has driven more features into it. Okay. The project obviously is still maintained or still heavily used by the community, and we're driven also by what people contribute. Kadir obviously is a massive push from the community in terms of how many things he's bridged into Slack from Slack into Matrix.
Yeah. Well, he has a very personal interest.
Yeah. So it's cool. It's cool. It's good to have a push from somewhere which is funding it, because I think bridges tend to be the most underfunded part of the ecosystem in some respects, because it's not a natural thing people ask for. They ask for edits, they ask for reactions. Right. They tend not to ask for, can you bridge my whole company in?
Yeah. Well, I think it's also a feature that people don't really understand they can have. It doesn't exist elsewhere.
Yes. Which is actually segues really nicely into our state event stuff.
Okay, yeah. So I've got notes here. So you've been working on MSC, Matrix spec change.
MSC 2346, it turns out, which is the spec change to start making bridges a real part of Matrix as opposed to just an app service API. So what this does is it means that now rooms will contain information about what's bridged into them. You don't look at an integration manager, you don't look at your own home server's config. It will tell you through the state event, you're bridged into ISC, you're bridged into Slack, etc. And anyone who's joined that room from anywhere can find that instantly.
So what the MSC says is there should be a state event that contains this particular metadata about the room.
And this is good because we've already had this information available to people on Matrix.org. As in, you can check the protocols and sort of things using the AS API. But it is only useful if you're on the same home server that's hosting the bridge. Okay. This makes bridges sort of federation native. It's kind of a weird phrase, but it means, federation, you can now see bridges as opposed to just users.
Right. Because it's a Matrix feature. Yeah. Because it's contained in the room. I mean, I love this. I'm sure we're talking to the crowd here, but the fact that you can just have metadata, arbitrary metadata in the room is magic.
It's a fantastic and underappreciated thing about Matrix, I think, generally. You go on Slack, you just can't add that metadata, that whole JSON object is just not there. Yeah. And with us, you can, just spin up your own JSON and happen to build your own Riot feature completely without doing any work.
Right, so this is the other thing then. So the Riot feature here is essentially to read the state event.
Yeah, so it's a very simple implementation. Essentially, the bridge developer writes their metadata for each room they bridged into a state event. They send that to the room. Then compatible clients such as Riot will be able to read this state event out and show on the sidelines, hey, by the way, you're bridged into a Freenode. Importantly, this is outside the bridge in terms of even if the bridge goes down, it's offline for years, it will still say this because it's still important and valuable information to people.
Okay.
And I mean, furthermore, this is a privacy
Yeah.
thing as well.
Yeah, I mean, so what I want to make clear is that it's not just going to be available in Riot. It's a Matrix native feature.
It's a Matrix native feature. We want other clients, other bridges, other anything that are connected to rooms to also report this information. It's a useful thing to have, right?
What would be nice? I mean, well, an easy way to get this, I think, and sorry, this is coming to me right now, but you could just have a sort of JSON viewer, something like a slightly prettier version of DevTools.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be actually dedicated to this.
Oh, absolutely not. You can go as simple as pulling out a couple of fields out of it and say this is bridge to Freenode. You can go as complicated as having, in fact, we support this in the MSC, have custom keys value state in the actual state events. You can say this has the room modes if you're doing IRC, or this has the topic or the purpose, which is a lovely Slack field. So you have so much information you can just bridge in.
And it also means, I guess, if the bridge sort of has to restart for any reason, then it can just go and get directly from the room.
So this is the other fun bit, is migrations.
Okay.
If you want to migrate your bridge, let's say from T2bot to your own bridge, or vice versa.
Use the same room.
Use the same room.
Interesting.
You say, here's my state event, pull it out, and then providing you've configured the bridge to have the same access control on the network side, you've done it. You have to do no work. So the state event is so simple, and yet it solves so many problems simultaneously.
It's magic, isn't it? Okay.
And furthermore, we're going to build more MSCs on top of this one. This is the first step to many future bridge-related MSCs. So.
All right. Yeah, I like it. Cool. Okay, so we've covered Slack is going really well, and we're pleased with it. It's going to be added to Modular in a more sophisticated way. So this MSC is also excellent. What's next on our list of half shots, half hour? IRC bridge.
Let's talk about IRC bridges.
IRC.
This is a fairly small thing. It's just sort of me keeping chirpy about it. But essentially, we've ported to TypeScript now with the help of Ben, like reviewing every scrap of that code.
Well, so I've loved that because I've been learning TypeScript as we go along, which has been a fun thing to review at the same time.
Yeah. So TypeScript's been useful because it's allowed us to modify bits of the bridge without worrying about breaking other things. Generally speaking, the IRC bridge has a history of we touch one thing, something else falls off the side. And this is a natural part of JavaScript because a lot of it you can just do things, and you won't notice a bug until something's actually executed and happened. TypeScript does some initial static checking of the code, so you can be relatively sure that you know your types are correct. And this has allowed us to add Postgres support. It's allowed us in the future to add the contract stuff. There's a lot of advantages to doing this.
What's contract?
Contract. This is a project I started last year, IRC contract, which is basically a bouncer for the IRC bridge, but written to be sort of matrix aware. So it means you can withhold or retain your connections between bridge restarts, which is useful if you're like us and you're hosting a lot of Freenode users. You want to be able to restart your bridge. If you do that currently, everything goes down. The future project is to have it so that you can keep this sort of separate process holding the connections while you restart your bridge.
Cool.
It's a bit of a way off yet, but we're getting there.
So the basic idea is to separate the logic of managing the connections from the actual bridging of events.
And this is something we look at in the future. Right now, we've had quite a lot of success with the IRC bridge not being too terrible, so we've not prioritized it, but it's a future roadmap item.
I mean, there are like bad days though.
Yeah, we have bad days, and it's usually me running around my hair on fire trying to like hit database and fix things, but that's part of the job.
Well, yeah, I mean, sure, it's infrastructure.
If you're bridging like well over, I think probably a total of over 50,000 users at this point, from the remote side into the matrix or something like that, something ridiculous number. It goes with the architecture that you'll have to do manual steps.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's still fun.
I mean, the fact that it works, and so many people use it every day and use it as their bouncer.
You hear some people saying, "I'm just using Riot for your bouncer," and to be honest, that's kind of gratifying. The fact that they actually just trust it enough.
I mean, it works. It works well enough. It'd be nice to have everything a bit more native. But.
Yeah. Well, hopefully the MSC we go back to will sort of make everything look a bit prettier as well. So you get the RSC look, perhaps, all those sort of things.
Yeah. Sorry. What's the RSC look?
Well, so if you have a porter room that says it's porter room, it's got the RSC state event. You can potentially make say things like, "Oh, your messages must be limited to this size because RSC supports that," or have the room modes in the corner. Or any sort of IRC-based state can just appear in your room.
Got it.
Which might end up being useful.
Yeah, definitely. So for as long as IRC's going.
Yes.
All right. What's the next item here? Modular. We talked about modular. Is there anything else to say about that?
I mean, modular. So about modular, putting more bridges as soon as we can do it. It's just the manpower of doing it all.
It's nice having a client. Sorry, by which I mean a commercial client in the form of modular.
Yeah, it's nice to have something driving the bridges and also to have clients actually asking us to make more bridges. It basically allows me to keep doing it. I have the manifesto sorts to do it. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's going to be a core part of Matrix for as long as there are other platforms and as long as we can continue.
Yeah,
to
until
do
we've destroyed literally every platform on the planet, we'll probably
which is
be
definitely
safe.
the goal.
Yeah, world domination's fine, right?
What's the future?
So this is the positive side of it, where we're talking about what we're going to do next. Broadly, I'd like to do remote invites is one thing. So this is where you type into your right client, I want to invite my Telegram friend, and without knowing their MXID, it will find the bridge, say, oh, this is the real MXID, and set the whole thing up for you.
Yeah.
So this is basically, without using any bot commands, it will just start doing things.
But that's hugely platform specific.
It's sort of home server specific at the moment. You can do this by implementing stuff in the AS API, but it's limited to local app services.
Yeah.
What we want to do is make a federation, a way for a federation to talk to any bridge and say, please set up a DM with us without doing bot commands, but just using native Riot components.
Yeah.
Which is possible. It just work.
Okay, yeah, I mean, definitely, that sounds great. Like UX-wise, it would obviously be an improvement. It just seems like a lot of work to get there.
Yeah, I mean, broadly speaking, a lot of stuff we're doing now is improving UX on bridges, because a lot of people say, well, I don't understand how bridges work, don't know how to interact with them, and Matrix is trying to be more universally appealing now. We're trying to break out of this niche market into a sort of a more, everyone should be able to use Matrix.
Yeah.
And bridges are unfortunately one of those things where you still have to sort of know what you're doing. You have to know what the MXIDs look like. You have to know who Travis is. It's true, right? You have to know TT bot.
It does help to know who Travis is.
So we want to break out of that and make it so anyone can join Matrix and instantly sort of get what a bridge is and how to use it. And that's just next. That's what we're sort of doing in the future.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it makes sense to me. PMing using across Federation, joining a room through advanced means. Advanced means, says your notes.
Yes, this is, these are mostly just things I want to do. Okay. But this is sort of being able to specify advanced options with your joiner. When you do a join, you want to say, I want to use this password. So IC supports key-based rooms.
Yes.
We'd like to say with our join, also I want to use this password.
Yeah.
Or any other sort of join, maybe sort of a lurker mode, any sort of special case join you want to do.
Are there other, like apart from IRC, does any other platform have this feature?
Trying to think, there will be other platforms I think which will want to do that sort of thing.
Okay.
I think XMPP would be an obvious choice. I mean, you like to specify stuff with that.
Yeah, I see.
So there's just sort of things we like to have the ability to prompt for more information than just the name of the room.
Yeah.
So that's one thing.
I mean, would that count for like room creation as well? I mean, cross like platform room creation?
That'd be an interesting thing. Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think like that's another place where you would end up sending a lot of metadata.
Yes, so it'd be nice. So when you do your create event, also I'd like to do a set my topic on Telegram. I know you can do it with Matrix topics, but there's things you might want to set like I don't know, specialist access controls through create rooms, which you can't currently do through Matrix. So they just want to sort of make it more easy to use. This all falls back into the whole making everything easier.
Aerostates, yeah. So wasn't there work on this?
So this was our GSOC student who has come back, by the way. Hi Kai.
Fab.
So they're back in. I think, funnily enough, when I wrote the MSc for the thing, they're like, "Oh, this is related to my thing. Let's start work." So we're working on this again. We're going to get our designer on it as well, and hopefully make progress on that.
So this is largely done on the Matrix side, and it just needs to be made available in the clients? Or
it needs. So fundamentally, we're halfway through our MSc process for it. We need to keep going with that until just improve the MSc.
Okay.
More testing, also make the right feature a bit prettier.
Yes.
These are all things that we need to do because it's another UX bonus to us.
Yeah.
But it's just it needs more work, I think.
Right.
It was cool as a prototype, and there's some nice demos out there, but we need to get to the next level.
Yeah, I mean that means finishing the MSc. We'll link to the MSc in the
definitely
in the thing. Cool. We've gone through this quite quickly. What do you think? What else is there to say? Bridges has been just a lively time lately. It kind of always is, but I feel like it's just jumped up a bit. Maybe I've just been paying more attention.
I think so. I think the community in general. I think Tula people like that have really ramped the stuff up. We've got so many options these days for hosting, for the actual software themselves. I'm really glad that the community and us, we've all sort of made a really cool infrastructure people are using on their day-to-day basis. The future's looking good because we're in a good standing right now, I think.
And I mean, we're not, we're not facing infrastructure problems on Matrix.org itself.
Oh yes.
So we're not spending, not that I was involved, but we're not spending, so much resources on dealing with these files.
It is a nice time to say to people, to stop saying to people, oh, by the way, sorry that Synthesis is down, is broken or down. We can't bridge. because now no longer that's a problem. It's now entirely down to me to make it work again.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean, there's always going to be a bottleneck, and now here it is.
Here I've become the bottleneck again. So I've got to basically the next few years passing it back to Synapse and make their stuff worse, which will probably end up happening.
I think it'll come. It'll come.
Yeah.
All right, Matrix Live. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye from Ben. Bye
Bye.
from Halfshot. Bye.